Hello and welcome to Millie White Cooks. For today's recipe, I'm sharing my easy and taste-tastic pumpkin granola muffins made with real pumpkin, crunchy oat granola and my own warming pumpkin spice blend. They're low in fat, especially saturated fat, but are still tender, moist and pumpkin-licious. This recipe is from my new Christmas and Holiday Entertaining Made Easy cookbook. It makes 8 muffins and each one is only 211 calories with just 7 grams of total fat and 0.8 grams of saturated fat. You can find all the links to my cookbooks in the detail box below. We'll start by taking a quick look at the ingredients list, which, as always, I'll give in both metric and American measurements. You'll need 65 grams or half a cup less 1 tablespoon of plain or all-purpose flour, plus 45 grams or 1/3 of a cup of wholemeal or whole wheat flour, 55 grams of natural caster sugar, which is 1/4 of a cup of superfine sugar, plus 40 grams or 3 tablespoons of soft brown sugar. Here's 1 free-range egg, which is size large in the UK or extra large in the US. This is 30 ml or 2 tablespoons of walnut oil, but you could use sunflower or rapeseed oil instead. I've also got 30 ml or 2 tablespoons of buttermilk, and this is the only dairy ingredient in the muffins, so if you did want to make them dairy free, then just use 2 tablespoons of almond or oat milk instead. In this little dish, I've got 1½ teaspoons of baking powder and ½ teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda or baking soda. For spices, I'm using 3/4 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon each of ground allspice, ground ginger and nutmeg, which are freshly grated straight from the whole nut. I'm going to add just a pinch of low sodium salt plus ½ teaspoon of vanilla extract. So there's 2 more pretty essential ingredients that we need for pumpkin granola muffins, and that's pumpkin and granola. First off, this is 125 grams or half a cup packed of my homemade slow cooker pumpkin puree, or you can use canned instead. However, canned pumpkin puree is not so easy to find in the UK, and my slow cooker pumpkin puree is super easy to make, so look out for my how-to video coming very soon. And it tastes far superior too, even if I do say so myself. Finally, some granola. And I'm using 85 grams or 1 scant cup of my pumpkin spice granola. I'll add a link in the description box below to my video on how to make this, and as you can see, it's really packed full of delicious fruit, nuts and seeds. Obviously, you can use whatever granola you have at home instead. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more healthy cooking inspiration. Now let's get cooking! So the first thing we're going to do is get the wet ingredients ready, and I'll start this by breaking the egg into a jug and giving it a light whisk with a fork. To this, add the vanilla extract, oil and buttermilk and give it another quick whisk. Then add the pumpkin puree and beat again. Beating all the wet ingredients together beforehand means that we don't need to overbeat our muffin mixture when we mix it, and this helps ensure a much lighter and fluffier baked cake in the end, so it's worth doing this extra step. My other tip to help get the fluffiest, lightest muffins, even though we're using some brown flour, is that we sift these thoroughly too. So pop the white and wholemeal flour into the sieve. Now's a good time to grate in the nutmeg, plus the ground spices, salt, caster sugar and brown sugar. Then I'm just going to use my wooden spoon to break down any lumps, especially in the brown sugar, and push it through the sieve. Look, you can see, although it didn't appear to be the case, there were quite a few clumps in the brown sugar. Once I've got these out and sieved it all through, I'm left with the whole grains from the brown flour, and this is full of heart-healthy goodness that we don't want to go to waste. So we're going to tip this back into the bowl. Pour over the wet mixture and use a wooden spoon to lightly mix together. You do need to make sure that the ingredients are thoroughly combined, but don't overbeat it, as this makes for a tough muffin and no one wants that. Finally, tip in the granola and lightly fold it into the muffin mixture. I've lined a muffin tray with 8 paper liners, and I'm using an ice cream scoop to divide the mixture evenly between the cases, like this. I've also preheated my oven to 160 degrees Celsius fan, 350 degrees Fahrenheit or gas mark 4, and I'm going to bake the muffins for 20 minutes until they are firm to the touch like this. Leave them to cool in the pan for 10 minutes, then transfer to a wire rack to cool completely. Now they're perfect just as they are, but I do like to add a little pumpkin glaze drizzle to razzle them up a bit. To do this, all you need is 40 grams of icing sugar, which is equivalent to 1/3 of a cup of powdered sugar, 10 grams or 2 teaspoons of pumpkin puree, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of cinnamon. Dependent on how wet the puree is, we may need a drop or 2 of milk, but we're not going to add this until the end, once we've seen if the glaze needs it or not. So add the cinnamon to the sifted sugar and whisk together, then add the pumpkin puree and continue whisking. Although it might not appear to be the case first of all, keep beating and the sugar will dissolve into the pumpkin to form a glaze. Whilst I'm doing this, I'd just like to ask, when do you like to indulge in a muffin? Is it mid-morning for 11s or to keep you going in the afternoon with a cup of tea? Let me know in the comments section below. Right, you need the glaze to be about the consistency of pouring cream. Just like this, perfect. So I don't need to add any of the milk at all. Now I know this doesn't look like a lot of icing, but you'll be surprised at how far it can go as a drizzle. And here's how to do it. Group the muffins closely together. I'm being fancy and using a slate board because I'm filming this, but you'd probably just want to use a tray or chopping board. Now I've popped the glaze into a disposable icing bag like this, but if you don't have one, you can use a teaspoon instead. The drizzle will be a little more rustic, but that can be part of the charm. So if you're using a bag, snip off the end and then just start drizzling. I like to go all over the muffins in one direction and then go back over them in another direction to create a kind of random crosshatch pattern, just like this. Once I've made sure all the muffins have some glaze on them, I go back over any that need a little more filling in the gaps. And here we are, properly pumpkin-licious. Can you believe that this has 40% fewer calories and a massive 80% less saturated fat than the pumpkin muffin that you can buy alongside your pumpkin spice latte at a well-known coffee house? I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you have. You'll soon be able to find this recipe in my low-fat and low-cholesterol Christmas and holiday entertaining made easy cookbook. It's available as a paperback or a Kindle book from Amazon, or as an ebook from iBooks, Nook or Kobo. You'll find all the links in the description box below. If you want to see how I made the pumpkin spice granola that I used in these muffins, I have a video of that recipe. The link will be in the box below too. You may also like to watch more of the videos in my low-fat cooking series, like these for my plum crazy green smoothie or my spicy seed and carrot flatbreads. If you are interested in finding out more about eating to lower high cholesterol, then watch my video, 31 Fabulous Low Cholesterol Diet Foods. Thank you so much for your company. Please also let me know in the comments if you make this recipe, or if you'd like to see a video of any other of my recipes, and bye for now.